If you are listening, you cannot see, but if you're watching, you can see that in my hand, I have the Interior Cleaner by Silver Wax. The Interior Cleaner easily removes stubborn dirt from your car interior. Use it to clean the dashboard, the instrument panel, and all plastic trims without drying or discoloring them. You use this Interior Cleaner, everything gets clean. And then you use the Interior Protector, which is another product from Silver Wax, and you'll feel like you're driving a new car once you've applied our Interior Protector. Solvent-free, it dries quickly and gives you a like-new plastic, vinyl, or leather components without leaving any oily finish. You throw this on after you clean it with the Interior Cleaner, use the Interior Protector, and you have a very clean car on the inside. And they also have like the regular products for the outside of your car as well. Get Silver Wax. Use our code SDPN10 to get Silver Wax 10% off at silverwax.ca, or find it at your local Canadian Tire. That's again silverwax.ca, your local Canadian Tire, and you can use the code SDPN10 to get 10% off your inside or outside car needs by Silver Wax.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
You have to give credit where credit is due, and the Florida Panthers deserve all of the credit for how they've begun the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, because they entered their series with the Tampa Bay Lightning as the underdogs amongst the media world. 20 out of 26 ESPN personalities picked the Tampa Bay Lightning to win. 16 of 18 Sportsnet personalities picked the Tampa Bay Lightning to win. And myself, I was so unbelievably confident in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So much so that for the past 24 hours, all my mentions have been Florida Panthers fans making compilations of me being so extremely incorrect. That's all my phone has been for the last 24 hours. They are easily the better team in every single way, except for like the X factor of the other team just won the Stanley Cup. And that's kind of the only reason to pick Florida. I'll say Tampa in 5.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, Tampa in 5. Psych! Now, don't get me wrong. I 100% deserve to be chirped for what happened with the Panthers and the Lightning, where the Panthers beat the brakes off of the Tampa Bay Lightning for 5 games. They were the better team in every game. They dominated the series. They made it easy. They got it done. They're into the second round looking like the best team in the league right now, and they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. But going into that series, I thought the Florida Panthers, who have not been a great team on the ice since March 1st. They were 11-10-1 from March 1st to the end of the season. Not great. That's the 19th most points in the regular season. Matthew Tkachuk was out for months since Four Nations. He didn't return until the playoffs. Aaron Ekblad was suspended for PEDs. Barkov was banged up for a little bit. Everything looked like it was going wrong for the Florida Panthers as they continued to lose games, and more guys kept getting injured. But I should have expected that the Stanley Cup champions would understand the regular season doesn't mean anything, and this team was comfortably in a playoff spot the entire way down the stretch, and they were going to show up to the playoffs, and then when the playoffs begun, they were going to start playing playoff hockey, and that's what happened in their series against the Lightning for the second straight year. They eliminate the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I thought this year, Vasilevsky last season, he had a shaky year because he missed half the year with an injury. He comes back halfway through, he has an season, and then the playoffs they lose. And Nikita Kucherov last season, Hart Trophy candidate, I believe he finished second in voting in the ballot. He wins the Art Ross this year, but last year I'm talking about he goes into the playoffs, he gets shut down by the Florida Panthers. They figure him out. He gets nothing that whole series. This year, Art Ross winner, and then he looks great again in the regular season. I think, okay, Nikita Kucherov won't get shut out again in the playoffs, but the thing I never considered is that this team is the best team in the league, and nobody has passed them since they got that crown last year when they won the Stanley Cup. They have figured out how to shut down Nikita Kucherov. That's so obvious that Paul Maurice and his coaching staff understand what Nikita Kucherov is trying to do on the ice, and they don't allow him to do it. He is a power play machine. He's a power play specialist, whether he's setting up the play or scoring himself. And they know just how to stop him individually and not allow him to do whatever he wants. And there's not enough support on the rest of the Lightning to where the Florida Panthers, who can just eliminate Kucherov, nobody else can kind of support the team and prop it up. But that's only a small portion of this whole story. Is they have the best defensive forward in the entire league, and he has been since Patrice Bergeron retired. And whenever he's on the ice, he's the best defensive forward on the ice. They have a absolute killer in Matthew Tkachuk, who knows what playoff hockey is. Nobody embodies playoff hockey more than Matthew Tkachuk. They are 6 defensemen deep. They do not have a hole in their 6 defensemen that they run out there at any moment. Their goaltender is the best goaltender currently in the playoffs, and he plays like it every single time since last playoffs when he started playing extremely well and justifying the $10 million contract that he has. Sergei Bobrovsky arrived, and he has not left. And lastly, the most important part about the Florida Panthers is that they beat you up. They beat you up illegally sometimes when their guys get suspended like Aaron Ekblad, or they beat you up legally and they get away with beating you up legally as well. They are beating you up every single time you touch the puck or you don't have the puck. It doesn't matter. They are taking their piece of flesh when you are out there on the ice with them. And that's what truly makes them different than any other team. No team in this league is as violent, but also so dangerously skilled as the Florida Panthers. It is a lethal combination that has allowed them to go to the Stanley Cup final, lose, go to the Stanley Cup final, win, come back this year, look like the best team in the first round so far. The first round's not over yet. Now, saying that, outlining what the Toronto Maple Leafs are up against, do they have a shot in this universe at beating the Florida Panthers? If you followed along with any of my predictions, you know that I've been a little cold with my predictions. So the Toronto Maple Leafs enter the second round, not as the Toronto Maple Leafs that lost to the Florida Panthers in the 2023 playoffs. They are a different team than that squad, that Sheldon Keefe coach squad. This is a much better hockey team. They have Florida's goalie. They have Anthony Stolarz, who is playing outstanding, and that is something they did not have back in 2023. They did not have outstanding goaltending. They have not had goaltending like this in the Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares era. Nobody has been good as Anthony Stolarz has been this season. They have a new head coach. I mentioned the Sheldon Keefe era. They have Craig Berube, who is not Sheldon Keefe and not even close to the same type of personality or the same type of coach. He has this team playing completely different hockey. It means something that this guy is the head coach going into this series. It will be a tighter series than it was in 2023. I don't know if the series score will end up being tight, but I know that the games will be tight because the Toronto Maple Leafs deliberately play tight hockey games. And I think the Florida Panthers will be very comfortable playing those type of games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now is a huge strong point for this team. There is not a big difference from pair 1 to pair 3 in terms of their defense. Like the Benoit OEL pairing can go out against anybody. It's a pretty darn good rotation of defensemen. So all I'm trying to say is the Toronto Maple Leafs are a good hockey team. They're a good hockey team. We saw them win the series against Ottawa. And if you're a Leafs fan, you didn't like the order of things and how they unfolded. If the stinker they laid in game 5 was a stinker in game 2 and everything played out from games 4 through 6, the way the other games played out, everything would have been fine. But what game 5 left in everybody's mouth was a really sour taste and a disbelief in this hockey team. We saw all of the old habits, but it ended up only being one game as the Toronto Maple Leafs clinched their series against the Ottawa Senators in 6 games. So do they have a shot against the Florida Panthers? So like I said earlier, I don't really want to make a prediction because I've been so cold in making predictions lately. But if I were just to throw something out there, on whether or not the Toronto Maple Leafs can knock off the Florida Panthers. From the lens of watching the Florida Panthers play hockey, I gotta say that until somebody defeats them, there is no reason not to pick the Florida Panthers. Until somebody takes the belt from the Panthers, there's no reason to not believe that the Panthers are just going to keep winning. Do the Leafs have a shot? Sure. Are the Leafs a really, really good hockey team this season? Yes. Yes, they are. And I think they've proven that this year with their regular season and the way they handled Game 6, where they finally took care of business and got the series all wrapped and done with in a close hockey game, and they came out with the win, and the big guys scored, and Nylander and Matthews and Pacioretty, the depth scoring was there as well, and the goaltending was awesome in Stars. This is a very good hockey team. They will compete. They will battle with the Florida Panthers, and it will be a tight series. It will be a long series. It will be a bunch of games that are decided on just tiny plays and one goal here and one goal there. And I expect to see a couple OT games. But if I'm making a prediction, I'm not going to be fooled. I can't be fooled again. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, never get shamed again. Whatever that old George Bush quote is from No Role Models, the J. Cole song, whatever that quote is, I'm not going to get fooled again. And they're the champs. And until somebody defeats the champs, they got to remain the champs. And that's where I'm going to settle on that. Hit like on this video if you have not hit like. Hit subscribe on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel. If you have not hit subscribe just yet, this is also available on your favorite audio platform. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world. The shows be watching or listening right now, and I appreciate you for that. Leafs won. They finally did a thing. They won another playoff round. Wow. Good night from Toronto.
And that is how it's done.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Jesse Blake, the guy that likes to hear his name twice in one sentence. Sure, I know him. No, he doesn't have an ego at all.